to our community conversation again. It's Tuesday, August 25th. And what's really exciting about this is that we are 2 weeks away from the start of school. So this time, 2 weeks from now, we will actually be starting school with your children at Churchill Road Elementary School, and we're real excited about that. This morning, we have a number of things that we want to just kind of go over, but also really the focus of today is really about how to support your children socio-emotionally, and also really how to set up their learning environment. We're close enough to school now that these are the things that are really important to us as well. So we're really excited to share and talk about those this morning. So if we can move forward in the presentation, Mr. Kilpatrick. This morning, a number of our resource teams are on here, and on the screen I want you to specifically see Miss Barrick. She is our full-time counselor here at Churchill Road. She's going to be sharing this morning, as well as Hannah Tappet, who's one of our third grade teachers. There's also a number of other people on the next slide that we have with us. Sarah Finger's second grade teacher, our new school psychologist, Kristen Leyland, Wes Smith, our social worker and wonderful yoga mindfulness focused person who keeps us all straight in that area, Christine Meehan, who is also our part-time counselor, and then of course Christy Bushman, who is our PTA president and who has been so supportive in this journey. But we also have someone really special today as well. And that is our school board member, Miss Elaine Tolan. And I just asked her this morning to say hello before we get started. And we're just so grateful for her. I've told her over and over again how wonderful it is to have her as part of our community. And so she's just going to say hello real quick this morning as well.
Thank you, Ms. Pearson. Yes, just hello to everyone. I can't believe we're 2 weeks out from starting school. But I'm so excited to see all the preparations that are being put in place. And I know that our school staff and Ms. Pearson have been working around the clock basically since March, and certainly over the summer to get everything in place and ready for September 8th. And I just want to thank all our families too for being flexible and working so hard to support your sons and daughters as they enter Churchill Road Elementary. And looking forward to today. I always gain lots of insights and information from listening to people's questions and just hearing what staff has to say about school preparations. So happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're excited that you're here today, and thanks for reaching out and so often just to see what we need as well. So our driving question that we start everything with, no matter if it's our staff or our families or our students, is how can we as a Churchill Road community support each other through a changing landscape in order to ensure each of our students a year of engaging and equitable learning so that students continue to grow and thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. We keep this as our forefront. Yesterday I was in a training with teachers, and that's the question I asked them. How can I support you? How can we support each other? And then I asked them to share out how they're supporting each other. And it was really, really a very meaningful time to see how teachers are supporting one another, how our staff is supporting each other in order to support your children in the next couple weeks. So that's our focus. It's our driving question. We return to it every time just to ensure that we're all on the same page. So let's just talk about just a couple things related to where we're going today. We will have Christy Bushman share again PTA. We'll look at a couple of the happenings. Then we'll go directly into the socio-emotional focus, as well as distance learning tips and strategies. We will then finish with questions, and the questions today will be focused solely on that socio-emotional and distance learning tips and strategies. We really want to give the community opportunities to ask questions related to those things. And if you have other questions related to other things, if you can just email me or Ms. Mills, we'll be really happy to answer those questions. Hopefully yesterday you received the email with a lot of really important information. If you did not get that, please reach out to Kim Moran and we will resend that to you, because that had a lot of really important information that I'm sure that you're going to want. So going to the next slide, let's go ahead and invite Christy Bushman again to just give us an update on the PTA.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Ms. Pearson, and to all the teachers and staff who are working so hard to get us ready for September 8th. Trust me when I say they have been working nonstop this summer, getting everything ready, and they are really working hard to have everything work as well as possible when we start on September 8th. A few events that are coming up that the PTA is hosting this month and into September. Your PTA board has also been trying really hard to try and pivot a lot of the stuff that we do to support our families, support our children, support the school as we enter into this new virtual setting. This week, this Thursday at 7 o'clock, we're going to have another PTA discussion series with some PTA board members and parents. It's a chance to informally connect, ask questions, have a good discussion about what's on your mind as parents as we start this new year. Still ongoing, we have kindergarten and new family, grades 1 through 6 virtual play dates that are still being scheduled. If you have not received sign-up information, please email Melissa Witt at VP Communications, and she will gladly add you to that list. On August 31st, the PTA is helping sponsor a teacher and staff appreciation event. We're excited about this to welcome all of our teachers and staff back to Churchill and say thank you for everything that they're doing to get ready and give them a little bit of Churchill spirit as they get started for the year. On September 2nd and September 3rd, for those of you who pre-ordered school supplies this year, the school supply kits, we will be distributing those from 10 to noon on September 2nd and from 1 to 3 on September 3rd, as well as any pre-ordered spirit wear that you have purchased. And I believe, Ms. Pearson, you're also doing a string and band distribution on that same date?
Yes, that is correct.
Thanks. September 9th at 7 o'clock is going to be our first PTA general membership meeting. So we're really excited to see everybody on that date. We are going to be moving our meetings because we are going to be virtual for the foreseeable future. We are going to be moving our meetings to the evenings as we think that accommodates everybody's schedules better than trying to do morning meetings during the week. And a final big announcement, which we're very excited about, our grade level forums are live. So these are the link is on our website. It's on the right under quick links. It says parent forum. And this is divided out. They're sort of forums where you can go in, you can ask questions. They're organized by grade level. We also have a general section and then a special education section. And we really hope that this gives parents an opportunity to connect with each other, ask questions, share information, share ideas, something that we would be doing if we were in person and running into each other in the school and downtown and sharing this information. But we hope that this is a way that we can do this virtually. So go and look on our homepage, look for the parent forum. You do have to create a new login to be able to participate in the forums, but we really hope this provides a new opportunity for people to connect and stay in touch. You can go to the next slide, please. And so people have asked how they can support the PTA, and I will tell you quickly, the PTA is here to support all of you. We are here to support the students, our families at Churchill, all of our teachers and staff, but we really need your help. And in the spirit of the one team, one community, stronger together, we really can't do this without all of you. So the first thing everybody can do, we encourage everyone to join the PTA. Registration will open August 29th after class lists have come out. A great way to stay up to date and support the PTA. Registration is $20 per family. At that same time, you can donate to the Bobcat fundraiser. This is our quote-unquote armchair fundraiser, our big fundraiser for the year. And your donation is going to allow us to continue to support our students and teachers. Some of the things that we've been able to do with PTA funds in this digital environment is that we've given funds, allocated funds that can be used by the school for purchasing new subscriptions to digital platforms that the teachers are going to be using this year, and helping with other teacher training and supplies to assist with this year, as well as some events and enrichment programs we're looking at for the children. And then finally, we really need we need volunteers. We have a lot of stuff that we want to do, but we can only do it if we have help. So we're still looking for some mentor families. We'd like to make those matches this week. So veterans Churchill families who would like to help new families to Churchill get acclimated, answer questions, we'd love to have you. Room parents, it'll look a little different this year, but the teachers still are going to need that support. We'll have an orientation for that after class lists come out. And artist workshop volunteers. This is a beloved program at Churchill. We are going to make this virtual this year, and that is an entirely parent-run activity. And again, look for signups for that. And finally, there's a lot of other opportunities to get involved in the PTA and help support us. So please look on our website or send me an email at president@churchillroadpta.org, and I'm happy to chat with you and see what you can do to get involved. Thank you.
Thanks, Chrissy Bushman. We appreciate you. We appreciate the PTA. I have said this over and over to them, but I want to say it again. Even this past month, their willingness to support us in these community conversations, being a phone call, an email away, being an 8 o'clock meeting in order to ensure we're all on the same page. I don't know how we would do it without the PTA, so please support them. Because ultimately it's supporting us and your children, and we're so grateful for them. So happenings this week. Yesterday, I thought you'd like to see a couple pictures. We are doing computer distribution, rain or shine. In of the afternoon yesterday, it started to pour, but everybody was really flexible and resilient using our Portrait of a Graduate skills, and we were able to get 2/3 of our computers out yesterday. So that was great to know that already we have all of those computers out to students in the community. Mr. Kilpatrick and Jordan Craig Kuhn have been leading that effort. So again, if you need anything related to that, please make sure you reach out to Nick Kilpatrick. Nick, if you can put your email in the chat, that'd be great, just in case someone still needs information related to that. So that's happenings this week. That happened yesterday. The teachers are working in their collaborative teams. A lot of good work is happening, and they're just really excited to get started. I had a number of them here yesterday outside my window, and they were just saying, like, we just want to get started, and that's really what they want to do right now. They want to be with you. They want to be with your children. So we're excited. 2 weeks from today, we will actually be in morning meeting with all students in Churchill Road. Okay, just a couple updates of schedule on the next slide. Virtual orientation will be next Tuesday, September 1st. On Friday, when you receive your email from the teacher, they will give you all the information you need about that virtual orientation. The most important thing I'd really like you to focus on is, once you get that information, is really begin to read carefully how to log on to Schoology. That's going to be the most important thing, is that everyone is able to do that, and we strongly encourage you try to log on and at least become familiar with that before Tuesday morning when you try to get in. Tuesday, September 8th, we keep saying, is the first day of school. And then Monday and Tuesday, September 14th and 15th is back to school night. We will be sending you specific information about times and how that's going to work in the next week. We want to make sure virtual orientation goes well, and then we'll be providing you with that information too. So with no further ado, I want to hand off the rest of the presentation to our resource socio-emotional team, our wellness team, our behavior team, to really just give you some positive tips and ways to support your children in the days to come. So I believe, Ms. Barrick, you're starting this morning.
I'm actually going to start. Good morning, guys. My name's Miss Tappan, or Hannah Tappan. I'm a 3rd grade teacher, as well as one of the co-leads for the behavior and wellness team here at Churchill Road. So after distance learning in the spring and the county announcing the virtual start for the fall, Churchill Road wanted to ensure that students' needs were at the forefront of our planning and instruction. as we start this new school year. This year, we've made a commitment to ensure student success by building relationships and making sure that their social emotional needs are being met. I, along with a handful of other teachers, were able to attend a week-long training this summer that focused on building relationships through morning meeting and positive teacher language. So what is morning meeting? Morning meeting is a way for students to come together in a non-academic setting to get to know their classmates and make connections. Usually, students would be sitting in a circle next to each other. Though we won't physically be sitting around a carpet together, we will be using different tools to make morning meeting meaningful in our virtual classrooms. This is a picture of a virtual classroom set up to start morning meeting. As you can see, morning meeting is made up of 4 components and follows this structure every single day. The first is the greeting, where students greet each other by name to start. In this virtual setting, students could say their greeting around the circle created around in this picture. So the greeting could be both verbal as well as interactive. I could say, "Good morning, Hannah," while giving them a virtual high five. Hannah would then greet the person next to her and pass that high five along the circle. The second is the share portion, where students get to share information about their lives. This could be a teacher-directed question or having the students share about something they're excited about. Next, everyone will participate in an activity that fosters group cohesion and helps students practice social and academic skills. This could be playing a game or even singing a song. Finally, the meeting ends with a message, like the one you can see on the whiteboard, written by the teacher, giving the students an overview of what is to come or questions to think about for the day. Morning meeting is a purposeful way to create a safe learning environment for students, allow them to take risks, get to know their classmates, and feel comfortable in their classroom. Every grade and classroom at Churchill will be implementing morning meeting into their daily schedule. Our hope is that by dedicating time during the day to foster a safe and strong community through morning meeting, that our students will be comfortable and continue to make those connections with their classmates, even in this virtual setting. Awesome. So another piece of building a successful classroom community is teacher language. We're committed to choosing words that move away from our personal approval and focus more on the work that the students are doing. This helps students to better understand the skills that they're working on rather than seeking approval from the teacher. So an example of this would be, instead of saying, "Wow, great job in math today," you could say, "I noticed you tried a couple different strategies for solving that problem. That takes persistence." This takes the emphasis off of the student wanting my praise and places it on the skill that they've been working really hard to work on. Framing teacher language in a positive and genuine way also helps students to know that you have faith in their abilities. The words that we choose to use shape how children see themselves. So when we show them we believe in them, they're much more likely to believe in themselves. Finally, using a proactive approach in teacher language helps to reinforce expectations in the classroom and limit behaviors. So prompting students using reminding language such as, "What will you need to do so you can be ready for math today?" sets them up to be successful in the task. Teacher language is nothing new to Churchill Road, but this year, as we start the school year in a different way than ever before, it's crucial that we emphasize our faith in students, make praise concrete and specific to the task, and take a proactive approach in order to help students succeed.
Hi everyone, I am Tammy Barrick, and it's really great to be here with all of you. And just kind of like Hannah was saying, our huge focus this year is on building relationships and making kids feel comfortable and safe and cared for in the classroom. That is our #1 goal, so that they can be available to learn. So we have programs at school that every student has access to, and that every student will get to participate in. So we're doing monthly lessons that the school counselors are leading, morning meeting, teaching emotional management strategies, and then we're going to focus on monthly social emotional themes. So every month we'll have a different theme, and to start the school year, we're our big focus is on building community and a sense of belonging. So that is for every student at our school. And then for some of our students who might need additional support, especially coming back from the summer and kind of starting the school year virtually, we know that different kids might have different needs to start the year. So we're going to be really focused on hearing from our kids and checking in with them and building some check-ins and groups from our conversations with students and from talking to teachers and being a really strong team in figuring out what students need. And then our mentor program is something that we are continuing this year. And especially since we're virtual, we really want a lot of kids to participate in it. And what it is a student meeting with one of our staff members each week to talk about things they're good at and what's going on in their life, and just kind of having that positive relationship with a teacher at school. And it's not tutoring, it's not, an academic meeting. It's really just to have a supportive adult in their life in addition to their teachers. So if you're interested in that program, you can email me and we can get your child paired with a staff member. Okay, so kind of like we were talking about, building connections is our really big priority. We'll also be continuing lunch bunches. I know that was something that parents and kids really enjoyed as we went virtual, so that we could just have that connection that was a little bit more informal. And I know teachers are working on small groups throughout the day so that kids can get more individualized attention through their learning. And then parent collaboration. We always want to hear from you and talk to you and just kind of figure out what we can help with and how we can partner with all of you as we're all kind of navigating this changing landscape and different way to do school. So we want to hear from you, and we want to help you and just kind of be relevant. And I've been working with some of the PTA about doing a book club or doing some collaboration that way and learning together. So more info on that to come.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Miss Finger. Sarah Finger. I teach second grade, and I'm part of the behavior wellness team at Churchill Road. And we just wanted to give you some tips for setting up a workspace for your children as we get started with distance learning. I know that I at first resisted setting up a space at home when we went virtual in the spring, but quickly decided that having my own space in my apartment and having everything I needed nearby was important to me being able to do the best job that I can. And the same holds true for our students. So here are some tips for you to kind of help get your child's workspace set up. First of all, you have a supply list from your child's teacher, and there'll also be items given to you from Churchill Road. And having those items easily accessible and organized in your child's workspace is important. So if a teacher says we need a pencil or we need your notebook, they're not scrambling or running around the house to find it. They can easily reach over and have it and be ready to work. Having the right technology is also important. Headphones are great for your children so that they are minimizing the distractions around them. We know that there are other things going on in the home. Parents are at home working, there's siblings, and just having headphones can kind of block out some of the noise and help them focus on what's going on in the classroom. We also, power cords are important, reliable Wi-Fi, just having all the technology that they need to help them be successful. Having a dedicated workspace is also helpful, but we know this isn't always going to be possible. And in a couple of slides, I'll show you some examples of portable workspaces that you could put together. But having a workspace where your child, it's just like having a workspace at school. They have a desk with all their supplies, and this would be similar at home. Having, again, this area away from distractions so that they can focus on their classroom setting, their teacher and their classmates. Having them away from a TV if it's on, other students or siblings working in the room at the same time would also be helpful for them to be able to focus. Making sure this area is comfortable is also important, not just physically, but also emotionally. Do they feel like it's a safe place to work? Do they feel they can do their best job there? And again, physically making sure that they're comfortable, not laying in a bed comfortable, but comfortable enough that they are being able to, again, focus on what they're doing. As I'm sure many of you who are working from home and are on Zoom calls and different platforms during the day, you've noticed you've been on calls with people who it's really hard to see them. So having them have a well-lit area with light sources in front of them, not behind them, can make it easier for their teacher to get to know them, to be able to see them, and their classmates as well. And then personalize it. I know on my desk at home I have a plant a student gave me and a picture my nephew drew me, so I have it personalized to make it an inviting place that I want to sit here and do my work each day. And then this is a strategy or an idea I saw online. It's from a parent who's also a teacher. She has 3 kids, and she bought foam trifolds at the dollar store. You could also use the cardboard ones, and she just personalized them. She had her kids help her. She used a hot glue gun to put some hooks so that they had their bags of supplies hanging there. She put a calendar up for each of them. A book light, and most of these items she found at the Dollar Tree. So this, is not obviously something you have to do, but it would be a good way to minimize the distractions around them. And it's also portable. So if they can't work in the same place each day, or they have to work next to a sibling, it's kind of just their own little workspace. And then finally, here's just some tips for keeping your child comfortable. We talked about being physically and emotionally comfortable. A lot of times our kids are probably going to be sitting in chairs that are a little too big for them. So maybe putting a step stool or a box upside down under them so that their feet aren't dangling but are supported. Having them tall kneel on the top right picture or half kneel. Even standing up is a good idea. We don't want kids just sitting at the computer all day. We want them to be able to get up and move and be comfortable. And for some kids that might be kneeling, or it might be standing. It could also be laying down, like on the picture on the bottom right on the carpet. And then using a peanut or a therapy ball, like a yoga ball, can also be helpful just for kids who maybe need to move a little bit more, but also just provide that comfort.
Hello. So here are some more tips and strategies in staying organized because it can just be sort of difficult when you're doing school at home and then you're also doing fun things at home. Not that school isn't fun, but you're kind of doing everything in one space. So here are just kind of some strategies that we thought of that could be helpful in staying organized. So one thing is to kind of write out a to-do list of everything that your child has to do, and then they rank which ones are most important. So you put a 1 next to the one that's most important, a 2, a 3, so that they can kind of organize that in their brains. And then another thing is to pick a stick with an activity. So that's a really great way to bring in choice and have your child think about what might be fun for them. So kind of like making a whole jar of different things, and then in the afternoon when there's some extra time, picking a stick out and doing that activity. And then another idea, this was a parent had this idea, which I thought was awesome, was making a list of like the must-do things for the day or the week, and then the can-do things, so that you can kind of organize it that way. And then another idea is making a list of things that are good for your brain and things that are good for your heart. You could also do good for your mind, and then having your child pick something from that list. And I've also found just having really bright lines between the school day and the after school day. Because usually, you know, you walk home or you take the bus or you drive home, and that's kind of like your transition time. But you know, it's really easy to just kind of have like a whole day of school that goes until like 6 p.m. So having kind of that transition activity, maybe it's a song for the younger kids, it's after closing circle, you put your computer away somewhere, and you close that closet and you go do something else. But just kind of having those bright lines between home and school can be helpful for our students. I know for me, I like to take a walk, and that's kind of like my commute right now, so that I'm kind of an introvert, so that's my way to process what I'm doing. So just kind of having ways to organize. One of these pictures also has a container with school supplies, so that you keep all of your school supplies in one place, and then you put it away so that when you're doing something outside of school, you're using different materials. And I know that that's not applicable or like makes sense for everybody, but just kind of finding those ways to organize. And we're happy to talk to you more about what this could look like for you and your child, because it's hard. It's really hard. So we're kind of figuring this out too, and trying to help you in this new school environment. And then also just making sure that physical activity is part of the schedule. And that can be rolling a dice and picking an activity on a sheet, taking a walk, doing a Go Noodle or a yoga online. But that's really helpful for kids too. And then emotional management strategies. So at school, a lot of classrooms have like a calm down area for kids to go take a break. Maybe there's a fidget there, or a pinwheel so that you could breathe. But kind of making this space at home is helpful, because, you know, even as adults, we all have moments where we are like, I just have to walk away from this and I need to take a break. So just sort of building that in and talking with your child about what strategies might work for them. And doing it beforehand and proactively, so that when they are at a heightened state of emotion, they can use those tools. And so like maybe making a corner of a room and having a pillow and a fidget and a visual of different things they can do to calm down can be really helpful. And then also having a space to solve problems with siblings or whoever at home. And it can be really helpful, especially with the younger kids, to have a visual of what the conversation might look like. And I really like starting it with asking, are you willing to solve this problem? So that way you can kind of gauge if the child is still really upset about whatever happened, or if they're in a space to talk. And if they are really upset about it, then it might be helpful to go to that calm down space for a little bit and then come back to the conversation. And then having a visual that says, I don't like it when you blank. And then the other person says, so you don't like it when? And then what I need from you is, and then the other person can say, okay, I can do that. So just sort of having that space, and you can call it the talk it out space or the talk it out table. And the older kids a lot of times are able to have that conversation with each other when prompted too. So just kind of building in some of the spaces and some of the conversations that we have in the classroom, because these things inevitably come up at home too. And then this is a Bitmoji classroom of kind of like a calm down space that all of the kids will have access to. And all of the different visuals have like a yoga or a breathing strategy, or like the Elmo is belly breathing with Elmo. The visuals are different breathing strategies. So you can click on different things, and then it kind of helps you calm down and talk through or help you kind of process your emotions. So this is going to be a strategy for students. It might be that the student has been online too long and they need to close their computer and use the tools at home, but this could also be helpful for some students as well. So, so that's an example of one of the links. So, if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask us. We are all available to talk to you. And if you saw a strategy that you liked and you want more information about, we're happy to talk to you about it. And if you just want to, say hi and introduce yourself, we're always happy to meet you. So that's what we have. Thank you so much, everyone.
So, Ms. Barrett, before you leave, let's see if there's any questions or any questions that do come up in the chat related to socio-emotional and distance learning, just so that we can support. Ms. Bushman, are there any questions that we would need to address?
You know what? The chat has been pretty quiet this morning so far, but one question that did come up was from a parent of a new student and asking about connecting those new students with other children at the school. I wanted to, just from the PTA perspective, I can let you know the new family play dates that we've been scheduling is a great way for your child to meet other kids in their class. And we also are going to be working on the mentor family matches, where we'll be trying to match families with similar aged children, similar grades, so that they have somebody that they can connect with and set up, other virtual play dates one-on-one to connect and meet other kids in their class. And Melissa Witt, our VP Communications, reminds me also that we do have the forums, not just for general discussion to discuss best practices for distance learning, but it's also a nice way for parents to connect and say, I have, we're new to the area, we're in first grade, and we're looking for other kids to connect to. My kid's interested in Minecraft. Is there anybody else who would like to talk with him about that? And welcome to Churchill. So from the PTA perspective, that's what we're doing. And Ms. Pearson, I don't know if you have anything that's being done through the school and helping integrate those new students who are going to be starting Churchill virtual instead of meeting kids on the playground.
Yeah, Ms. Barrett, are you still on that you can address that as well?
Sure. So we are planning to do different lunch bunches with for new students, and usually Mrs. Meehan and I work with the teachers to kind of see like who might be a good match for that student, and we'll all have lunch together. And so we'll be reaching out to new families about setting up those lunches. And then I think somebody also asked about new students with mentors, and you can also email me about that, and I'm happy to set students up with mentors. We actually have some new teachers as well who actually reached out to me and said, can I have a new student to mentor, because then we can have that connection with each other, that we're both new and we're both starting the school year virtually. So I thought that was also a great idea. And I know that, through morning meeting, teachers are working really hard to help integrate those students into the classroom as well. So those are kind of some of the things that we're doing, especially since, like you're saying, it's different than just sort of playing on the playground.
Yeah, and I want to follow up on the PTA discussion forum as well. In the many conversations that I'm having with parents, it's been really cool to see what works for one family and the ideas that families are coming up with. For example, the other day I was talking with a mom, and she said, in order to break up the day, they do reading on on the sofa in the basement. They do math in the kitchen at the table. They do social studies outside, either on a trampoline or kind of like a bouncy or something like that. And that's how they move. You know, students, it's really helpful when they move every 20, every 30 minutes, you know. So we're going to try to have those those breaks in between in those hours. But even taking the break and physically moving between the classes, I thought was a really great idea. So I really believe that those discussion PTA forum boards are going to be really helpful because they're going to be just Churchill Road families. And it'll be an opportunity to not only connect, but also to get ideas. And there's a wealth of ideas in this community. And I really think that we are so much, you know, I say stronger together when we share those things. I really believe that PTA general discussion and forum is going to be a help to everyone. And I think if we could share that out to one another, you know, and make sure everybody is on that's going to be really beneficial as well. Any other questions, Ms. Bushman?
I don't really see any others.
Okay.
There was a question about, I know there's a I've been hearing questions, this isn't in the chat, but I've been hearing a lot of people ask about, they're concerned about their children's eyesight and screen time. So do you have any recommendations, I don't know if Sparrock's still on, about how to give kids' eyes a little break? I know we have built-in screen breaks during the day, but how do we get the kids sort of their eyes a little rest during those periods? Do you have any tips for parents about how to sort of alleviate the amount of, you know, nearsighted or, you know, near vision stuff that they will be doing during the day? Any exercises or stuff kids can do just to help with that?
I don't know if we lost her or not, but what we will do is we will look into that and get back, and we'll put that in a chatter. How about that?
That would be great. Thank you.
Unless there's somebody else who can answer that right now.
Hi, this is Wes Smith, the social worker. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Wes.
Hi. I don't know if I have an answer for that specifically, but I did want to chime in that the Parent Resource Center is going to be doing 3, I guess, webinars on virtual learning and success in virtual learning, how to set up a space. And I'm going to imagine if they don't cover that, that they also have resources about that, because I think that is something, not only movement, but yes, you're drying out your eyes. So you want to be able to move around and do exercises for that. But I would put in a plug for the Parent Resource Center, because they are having some upcoming webinars and just a lot of information. And there's other FCPS resources for families to look at how to make virtual learning successful.
Thanks, Wes. Michaela Antonio just put the link to that Parent Resource Center website in the chat. So that would be something that we can use as well. So if you don't have any other questions, again, we are 2 weeks away from school start. Next week, we will not have this community conversation. We will have the virtual orientation instead. Please continue to reach out for us with as much as possible. We're here for you. We want to answer as many questions as possible. We're grateful for your support, and we really look forward to the weeks and months ahead. So thank you again for coming today. We really appreciate it. And again, thank you to all the teachers and the staff who presented today. Thank you again, Ms. Dolan, for being with us. And as always, thank you, Ms. Bushman, for your support as well, PTA. So we do hope you have a great day, and we will talk again soon. Thanks, everyone.